Hey, what's going on? It's June 16th. Welcome on into Daily Cards Live here on ClaimsOnline.com. I'm Joe Roderick. He's Bob Ramsey, and we are brought to you each and every day by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Royal Banks of Missouri. Rammer, it's a Cardinal off day today. And hey, before we get started, I want to wish my dad a very happy birthday today. I think he watches. I don't know if he still
Happy
does or
birthday,
not, but I
Mr.
guess
Roderick.
yeah, I guess he'll tell me here in a few hours when we meet up with him for dinner.
Nice.
If he heard this or not. But yeah, Cardinals off today. You know what? We have talked about it. It seems just how quickly the season flies by. It seems like just a few days ago we were talking about how the team was going to manage their way through the doubleheader in Chicago, the doubleheader against Pittsburgh, and make their way to this off day with enough pitching.
Yeah.
And outside of the hiccup that they had down in Tampa, they've, everything's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I think we all see that after the top three guys in the bullpen, if you count Palante as a starter, we'll talk about that tomorrow when we talk about the Red Sox. We'd like to see the back 4 or 5 guys of the bullpen get beefed up a little bit. We think we see the rotation is going on. And while it's not there yet, that we can see there is a method to get to a solid 5-man rotation. With some of the youth picking up what was a pretty bad offense between Donovan, Gorman, Yepes, and O'Neill and Carlson getting healthy, we see the offense picking up, and not where it not at its best now, but we can see that there's a great near future where it's going to be solid, nearly top to bottom. So, yeah, I think there are a lot of those good things. One thing we did see when you're mixing and matching with a lot of the young guys, the vaunted Cardinals defense, maybe not quite as good, but I think that cleans up when you get to a more of a regular lineup. For instance, last night, Jack Flaherty's back, and we can talk about what his start looked like. But moreover, I think the important thing is, to me, that if the Cardinals handle those 2 bunts well, they probably go ahead and win the game anyway, despite how poorly Flaherty was pitching.
Yeah, and when you look at, when I look at the defense, I think there are still some pieces, you're trying to figure out what that best defense match is. I mean, where does Donovan fall in? How do you get Yepes his at bats? The DH of, where to use the DH and how to use that DH for off days where once it gets, hopefully it doesn't come down to needing a 17-game win streak the final month of the season to make that push to the playoffs, and they can keep this balance that they have going so far when it comes to that. But Rammer, you have covered the Cardinals longer than me, and maybe there was a time where this wasn't the case, but it seems like today's casual fan just is looking for something to complain about with the team. And this is a team that is 10 games, or I guess 9 games over 500 right now. And the pitching that, we needed to get an extra starter. Yeah, you probably did. Maybe you did. But Miles Mikolas has rebounded into quite a player this year. Wainwright's still doing Wainwright things, and things are okay, I guess, as far as the rotation goes. The offense, you had 2 potential MVPs right now in the middle of that offense with a potential Rookie of the Year and Tommy Edman leading everything off. It's fun to watch. I don't think you can complain anymore about the shortstop not going out there and getting Trevor Story or one of the guys that went to Texas or any of these guys because of how things have played out. So now it's, instead of being happy about the way the team's built, now we're complaining about the catching position. Now we're complaining about the offensive production out of the catcher. When you have a catcher that is getting set to retire this year after 18 years with one team, on his way to wearing a red jacket, and we're going to complain about him in the last season when I can't think of a game that Yadier Molina has cost the Cardinals so far this year.
And moreover, in 5 years, he'll be making a Hall of Fame speech. So I think that's right. I think people want things fixed. They want it fixed right now, and they want it to be their way. But you know what? That's a fan's right. It's their birthright, actually. When they say, I'm a fan of this team or this player, I get to nitpick, and I'm okay with that. As long as you don't go crazy about it. It is funny how there's a segment of fandom that isn't happy unless they're unhappy,
Right.
and so, but that's okay. They can do that. Are the Cardinals getting production offensively from their catchers? Well, the answer is no. But relative, when you look around and you combine everything around the position, and maybe I'll come up with some nerd notes on this for our next show, but I don't think you're at a disadvantage when you're playing against most other teams.
No, it's and this weekend, and we'll have a full preview of the team tomorrow. I think tomorrow morning, before noon is when we'll jump on and we'll talk a little Red Sox Cardinals. But they're going up to Boston this weekend, and they're facing a team that is a lot of fun to watch. If you are tired of watching the same teams, if you're tired of the Pirates and the Reds and all of these series, you're in for a treat this weekend, getting to see the Red Sox up in Boston, a team that has a lot of star power and a team that is fun to watch. Very much looking forward to breaking down the series.
And who, by the way, a month ago, you thought our fans and media were after the Cardinals. Up until about a month ago, they wanted to dismantle the entire organization. I mean, it was some insane stuff, not just from fans, but from media members.
I mean, you're also talking about the Boston media, and Rammer, you and Rockio were going to do a two-man game coming up here in about an hour or so, previewing Game 6. I mean, the Celtics could lose Game 7, and there are media members who will call for that team to be dismantled. So it's just
crazy.
That's just how the Boston media seems to go, and has been for quite some time. So yeah, you got the off day today. I think, we were talking about it beforehand. I know we're going to go early tomorrow, and I feel like there will be some sort of move made prior to the game tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be anything significant. I think you're going to see an arm come up from Memphis, and maybe an Oviedo sent down just to have a fresh arm in the bullpen. Andre Palante is set to start on Sunday. You called it yesterday that he was going to come in relief probably last night because it was his day to throw. So you still keep him on track. Yeah. So I just think you kind of freshen up the arms a bit and send Oviedo back there to get a start maybe.
And I'm not sure the exact date, but Corey Dickerson is getting close. I think maybe a week away. And that's where we start to get where you start to see the depth with the Cardinals, and then we'll learn what they really think about some of their young guys and bigger contracts with veterans. That's when it's going to get really interesting.
I mean, I get what you're saying. It really comes down to, are you going to eat the $5 million that you paid Corey Dickerson this year? Or are you going to send Juan Yepez Are you going to send Yepez to AAA? Like I feel like that is the only viable option given everybody else stays healthy.
Unless you kind of roll the dice a little and have and Sosa goes down, because if you count Gorman as a second baseman and Donovan as your backup shortstop.
I think the Sosa question comes into play whenever you have to make a decision on DeYoung.
I agree.
Yeah, which that's a topic for another time, even though he still is hitting the ball well down in Memphis, and good for him for forcing, doing what he's kind of a similar, well, I shouldn't say similar situation, but a situation like what we talked about with Gorman, where Gorman forced the team to call him up. Yep. And that's DeYoung. That's what he went down there, and what he's doing right now is he's putting up good enough numbers to where he's saying, guys, you know what? You got to bring me back up to the team.
Yeah, I don't see him starting. Maybe an occasional start against a lefty, but I'd be surprised. But we'll worry about that when it happens.
We sure will. Rammer, you and I, you're headed out to Ballparks National tomorrow, and I have my the Alton High alumni baseball game this weekend.
Nice.
So thus the early show tomorrow.
So what are you going to pull, a quad or a hammy?
You have no idea how much time I have spent stretching these past few weeks just to make sure that everything is nice and limber. I have a cryo appointment. I'm doing the cryo chamber tomorrow afternoon just to make sure everything's going to be and stay in place.
Well, then it's going to be an elbow or shoulder.
Oh, the shoulder. I mean, yeah, that'll be first throw down to second base. I mean, that's just a given. I expect that to happen.
The coach go, how many throws you got in you? And you go, 1.
I am not going to be embarrassed at all when I warm up in the first inning and the throw when I say going down and it goes down to third base instead of second. Like that's how much I am limiting that one throw down to second, that I will save it for an actual game time play. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, good luck with all of that.
Rammer, I will talk to you tomorrow here on another edition of Daily Cards Live, and we're brought to you each and every day by Mungenast St. Louis Acura and Rammer Royal Banks.
Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
We will talk to you tomorrow, folks. Rammer and Matt Rocchio will be coming your way about an hour or so from now with Two-Man Game, a preview of the NBA Finals Game 6. And I look forward to hearing the two of you talk about fake clay, as I hope Rocchio or you are fully informed on the fake clay saga that took place the other day, captivating a nation right now.
Yeah. A handful.
We'll talk to you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks for joining us right here on Claibs Online.
St. Louis Acura has almost 200 pre-owned vehicles in stock with inventory arriving daily and can offer the best trade-in value. While others raise their prices and fees, we choose to earn your repeat and referral business by not taking advantage of the current market situation. We invest in our team, becoming one of St. Louis's top places to work and fastest growing companies. St. Louis Acura remains committed to becoming better than ever for you. Located at Manchester and Mason Roads.